If you own a commercial cleaning business and you want to land big commercial cleaning contracts, then you are in the right place. In this video, I'm going to show you how we used a specific software called CleanSmarts to win a $200,000 per year commercial cleaning contract, and also how we use it to win other six-figure contracts too. And by the way, I pay full price for CleanSmarts. I don't get any special deal because I'm an influencer. I just love CleanSmarts. And just so you know who I am, my name is Matt. I built a seven-figure commercial cleaning company from the ground up, and I show you exactly how to do the same thing. Okay, let's dive in. So the first thing that we need to be aware of is that big contracts, and we're going to define big commercial cleaning contracts as six figures or more. Now, these types of contracts are different than your smaller ones. And it's not just the price that makes them different. Let's take a smaller contract under six figures per year. Typically, you can win those with a handshake and some promises and a little bit of confidence built maybe in some of the marketing material that you gave them. But when it comes to these larger contracts, they require a whole nother level of assurance, systems, and proof to build their confidence to pick you over all the other companies that they're examining. So what I'm going to walk you through are the three things that this specific client, that was the $200,000 per year contract that we won, and it trickles down to all the other six-figure ones too. But in this specific scenario, what were the three things that were important to them that exemplifies all the other large contracts that are out there? And then how did we go about addressing each of those factors that were so important to them that led to them choosing us instead of others? This first factor that they're looking for is what I call seamless service. And this doesn't just mean that the quality had to be good or the checklists are being completed. What was going on is with the company that we ended up replacing is that they didn't know whenever somebody missed their shifts. Now, they had a team, and this is a large account, right? So they have multiple team members on site, but you had different people responsible for different realms of the facility. And the client had to notify the cleaning company whenever somebody did not show up, or if someone missed their work, or if somebody left early or came in late, or they had to ask the company to send someone in to replace somebody. It was not seamless. It was not able to be hands off for the client. The cleaning company that was fulfilling the contract was essentially just a staffing service. They weren't able to do much of the management. But the thing is with that, how can you know when those problems are happening? How can you, without being there, right? Because you don't want to have to get out of bed every night and go visit the facility and be there all night. We're trying to build an automated business that is an asset that runs on its own. So what can you do that this company wasn't doing in order to be notified ahead of time of issues so that you can implement a solution before the problem even becomes an issue? That is the first problem that we solved using CleanSmarts. Now, to better explain what CleanSmarts is first, it's not a lead generation software. What it is a janitorial management software. The whole purpose of CleanSmarts is to provide your clients that seamless service experience, as well as you as an owner to have you a seamless ownership experience with your business. So what I'm going to show you from CleanSmarts is exactly what we showed our client right here. This is a map that shows some of our clients. And how it works is we're able to see what facilities have late notifications, which ones are actively in progress, which ones are completed, which ones are upcoming. They haven't been started yet, but they're on the schedule. This allows us to have an immediate reference of what's going on and to address anything that might be happening. So for example, if we have a late or a no-show, we can then call whichever team members we need to reach out to or notify a client of any issue ahead of time before the client even finds out. That way we can get it addressed or assure them of the solution we're going to put in place. When we pulled up this map and showed it to the client, they were blown away. They didn't know something like this even existed. They were so used to just calling their cleaning service saying, hey, so-and-so didn't show up. What are you going to do about it? And then the cleaning company would just say, oh, well, give us a minute to figure it out. We'll figure something out, or we'll give you a credit, things like that. They had them on the defensive and on their back heels. Contrast that with, say, a cleaning company that reaches out to the client and says, hey, we're aware of something that's going on, but here's our plan to get it taken care of. That is what a seamless service experience is. It doesn't mean that everything goes perfect all the time. It just means that you're on top of it. And just to support this even further, CleanSmarts has notifications set up so that it can notify me, our management, the team members, and even the client, if you wanted it to, of any sort of staffing changes or anyone that's late or a no-show. This way, if no one's near the computer or checking the map actively, you can immediately know if there's a potential issue. Then you can go check whatever you need to and communicate with your team. So this first thing that big accounts are looking for is that they don't want to have to tell you what's going on with your business. So the trick is for you to know what's going on with your business without always having to be on site. That is where a janitorial management software like CleanSmarts comes into play. Now, before we step into the second factor, you might be asking, well, why am I not just talking about any janitorial management software? Well, that's because we have tried so many different ones that are out there, and I won't list them all here, but we landed on CleanSmarts after trying so many different ones. So to make it easy for you, I put a direct link to CleanSmarts down below in the description. Go there, set up a free demo, and check it out to see how you can grow your commercial cleaning business with CleanSmarts like I've done. If you do decide to use the link, it does support the channel. Thank you so much. And again, I pay full price for my CleanSmarts. I just love it because it helps us so much. The second thing that they're looking for is freedom from noise. And no, we're not talking about audible noise. We're more so talking about chatter. And it's chatter in the form of all the employees under them, sending them emails, texting them, calling them, letting them know if they see something or if something's wrong in the facility or if we miss something, whatever it is. There's all these people that are typically under them because these big contracts are in big facilities, right? They potentially have hundreds or thousands of people in these facilities. So they cannot handle all of the things that might be reported directly to them by their staff. And a part of the reason that this client that we won, it was making the change is because their facility manager and their corporate buyer, all the people involved in this decision were receiving so many emails, so many texts, so many side conversations that they couldn't really focus on what their core duties were to their job. And here's the kicker. It wasn't always about quality issues. If all these other managers under them or around the facility wanted to ask for the cleaning company to do something, they went to the only place they knew where to go, which was the individuals that were getting inundated with all these requests and sometimes complaints and all this communication. And it's that level of noise that slows your client down from being able to grow their business and focus on what they do best. So what did we do? We didn't just go around and say that we'll visit all these managers and we'll go talk with people, which our staff will, and they're going to make a presence, but that's not as systematic, right? These large accounts want a system that works over and over and over again, no matter who is managing it. So this is where we highlighted CleanSmart's QR feature. Essentially, what the QR feature is we can put a QR code from CleanSmarts anywhere in the facility and in multiple places of the facility. For example, they have several different areas with different bathrooms. So we could do the men's and women's in this, say, main production area. Then maybe there's this far side of the building. It could be called shipping. Maybe there's a bathroom and restroom over there. We can put QR codes that say shipping men's, shipping women's. And what can happen is anybody in the facility can pull out their phone and scan that QR code, enter in whatever they want to say, and whatever they enter in goes directly to us. In one simple move, we completely eliminated all of the chatter that these buyers and these facility managers were experiencing in their facility. And here's another benefit to that, actually. We had a client, a very large six-figure client that we ended up losing years ago because I went in and did an inspection and I would ask the manager how things were going. Well, the manager said everything was fine. Well, give it a couple weeks later and they're in a meeting with their staff and all of the people in the meeting had problems with the cleaning. As soon as one person said something about the floors and someone else said something about the bathrooms and someone said something about this and that, there was no time stamps on each of these two, right? They might have brought issues up from months ago, but either way, the meeting went so poorly that we lost the account. And that's right after I visited and walked through the facility and asked the manager how things were going. So it didn't matter the current state of the building, it just mattered what everyone else thought. So the trouble then was, how do I go about getting everyone's feedback like that when it happens, when they actually see the issue, without stirring up trouble across the facility or inundating the manager or constantly asking the manager every day what's going on? That is also what these QR codes with CleanSmarts solved. Because now someone can report anything anywhere in the facility, wherever we put a QR code at. It lets us know where in the facility that issue was reported. They even can give a rating on it if they want to. And it immediately pings our team, myself, our management, anyone on site that we want to have access to those reports so that they can go take care of it. So we lost that six-figure account because we did not have this automatic QR code feedback system in place, but we won many other accounts, and specifically this $200,000 per year account, because we did have that QR code system in place because of CleanSmarts. So not only does it help your client focus on what matters to them, it allows you and your company to control what is going on in the facility and to take care of it before anything spreads around and before anything becomes an issue that it shouldn't be. Now, it is worth noting that there are other janitorial management softwares out there that have these QR code features. I've only seen one other. I'm assuming there's probably some others out there, but CleanSmarts has been the easiest to use. It's been the one that has worked best for us. Now, what ends up happening whenever you present a QR code feedback system like the one with CleanSmarts to a large contract, there's one objection that may come up. And that actually leads us to our third factor here that we're going to solve. And that is this: accountability and communication. Think about it. If you're providing a seamless service where the client doesn't have to reach out to you all the time about any staffing issues, or the client is no longer receiving feedback of what's going on in their facility, they're now able to focus on their job better, but now they're kind of in the dark. That is something they're going to be questionable about. They're going to want to know still what's going on. They just don't want to have to deal with all of the inbound communication from their team. Because now if we just handle those first two factors, the client is essentially in the dark as far as the cleanliness of their facility. But these big accounts are typically with very large companies with structures in place and accountability processes in place. They're going to want to see, how do we actually know that your systems are working? How do we actually know that everything is progressing seamlessly? How do we actually know all of these things? And that is where we present the CleanSmarts Client Portal. There's actually something special you can do with this portal during the presentation process that I'll explain after unpacking this point a little bit, so hang in. A client portal is a place where your customers can go and see the list of any QR codes submitted. They can also see the notes associated with the resolving and the solutions of those QR codes. So they don't have to keep checking on everybody. They can see that it's in progress, and they can see which ones have actually been completed and closed. Let me tell you, they love being able to see that trail of QR codes, even though oftentimes they are going to be cleaning complaints. And that's totally fine because they understand it's a very large facility. They also understand that there's some individuals in there that might be more picky than others. But what they love is being able to see progress. They enjoy being able to see that an issue was submitted. Here's the notes on its current progress towards a solution. And then here's the list of ones that have already been resolved. And you know, sometimes you actually get compliments and your team gets compliments through those QR codes. So those are fun too. And what you can also do with the client portal is you can show them the inspection results. Here's the checklists that have been completed. You can also have any staffing updates in there. So now your client can be in the know whenever they want to be in the know. Now they don't have to get blasted by emails or texts out of nowhere. They can go to one place and they can see what's going on. Maybe they set a certain time of day to check things and see how the cleaning is going, or even it's just once a month. But either way, they have a place where the communication is easy to look at, it's organized, and it's got accountability infused with it. And not only this, there is a messaging feature inside the client portal that allows your team and anyone on your team that you want to allow to have access to the messages with clients to be able to receive those messages. So your client can essentially send a text just for that location, and it's not going to blow up the phones of all of your entire team. It's only going to go to the people that are associated with that account that you want to have allowed to see those messages. And this eliminates the dilution effect that happens whenever you get an email, for example, from a client, and say it comes into you, it's a complaint about something, so then you send it to your manager, you send it to your team. Well, there's some factors that will get diluted whenever that email is read off or whenever it's summarized to somebody and it gets to your team and it's not as clear as the communication you had originally received. It's not understood the same. So what a client portal does is it allows your client to provide that first experience communication with your team and whoever you want to see those messages. And then you or any of your management can respond to the client. That way, everything continues to flow as it should. Now, for that extra bonus tip I was telling you about, here's what we do that really seals the deal. What I encourage you to do before going to your appointment with your client is to actually set up a client profile for them. Within CleanSmarts, you can very easily and very quickly just set one up using their email address. You put in their name, and then you can just put in any sort of password that you want to make. Then you just simply assign them to either a demonstration location, or if you want to pre-make their own location for them, you can. And then they have an account that's been created. So what we actually do at the appointment or during a quote presentation is we have the client download the CleanSmarts app onto their phone, and we give them the login using their own email address. You can even set their profile picture to their company's logo. There's a special tip for you. So it makes it feel like you've really prepared for them. And now they're going to log into this client portal and be able to see any sort of demo account, or if you want to customize it, how to see whatever you want to have them see, you can do that. That way they can experience what you want them to know they'll have once they become a client with you. And suddenly what happens is you have completely set yourself apart just in a few moments from all the other competition, because they're going to have all three of these factors displayed for them right there on their own phone. Look, I love CleanSmarts. It's what we have used to build our commercial cleaning company to 7 figures and beyond. It's the same software that we currently require all of our franchisees in our brand to use. I encourage you, go down to the link in the description, check it out, set up a free demo, and see how CleanSmarts can take your commercial cleaning company to the next level. My name is Matt, your commercial cleaning CEO. If you want to build an incredible commercial cleaning company, stay tuned or go to the other links that are also listed down below. Thanks so much for watching. Be sure to like, subscribe, share this video if it was helpful to you. And until next time, I hope you win some big contracts. Let's keep building.